Welcome to Mark's British Airways Fleet Update, looking at short and long-haul fleets.
Welcome to 2025 and welcome to another British Airways Fleet Update covering short and long-haul aircraft. We'll kick off with CityFlyer, the Euroflyer, the short-haul fleet in mainline, have a look at the long-haul aircraft where there's lots going on. Problems again with the Airbus A380s, there's a surprise. Lots of movement of the 777 fleet to and from maintenance. Some challenges for the 787s and maybe the start of Club Suites fitment once again on the 787-8s. So lots to get through. Let's kick it off with the CityFlyer fleet. The Embraer 190s out of London City. As many of you know, they get maintained at Exeter. That's a hangover from the old days of Flybe and predecessor organisations. Yankee Mike returned from Exeter to London City on the 30th of December, straight into service that evening on the BA 8706 to Edinburgh. And earlier in the month, Lima Charlie Alpha Echo had flown down to Exeter on the 17th of December, and that's still there. Euroflyer fleet out of Gatwick, quite a lot of activity around particularly the Airbus 321s. X-Ray Golf finished maintenance at Birmingham and flew back from Birmingham to Gatwick on the 13th of December, straight into service the next day to Geneva. X-Ray India replaced it 2 days later, flying from Gatwick to Birmingham. That remains at Birmingham for maintenance. X-Ray Juliet has been at Madrid since the 29th of November. That's still there. And one of the Airbus A320s, Golf Alpha Tango November, flew from Glasgow to London Heathrow, strangely enough, on the Euroflyer 9751 on the 27th of December, but it remains at Heathrow, not clear why. Having a look at the mainline fleet based at London Heathrow on short haul, Airbus A319s, Charlie Deltas in Birmingham for a refit, been there since the 11th of December. Charlie Foxtrot at Dublin since the 28th of November is still there. Charlie Bravo flew out from London Heathrow to Madrid on the 3rd of January, BA 9277, the positioning flight. And we've had two Airbus A320s heading out to the Middle East. On the 10th of December, Echo Uniform Papa Sierra flew London to Abu Dhabi on the BA 9272. That's 3,080 miles. Of course, this is an aircraft with no passengers, no luggage, no cargo, so a much more plausible opportunity for this to happen than if the aircraft's fully loaded. Sister ship Papa Romeo flew out, same route, London to Abu Dhabi on the 6th of January on the BA 9279, both for planned maintenance. Interestingly, after I think some damage to the aircraft, Golf Tango Tango November Echo had been out of use. That's an Airbus A320 out of use at Heathrow since the 1st of July for repairs. It's seemingly been repaired sufficiently now for it to head up to Glasgow. It flew out of Heathrow to Glasgow on the 13th of December. That's a heck of a long time, over 5 months. Not clear what work's needed at Glasgow, maybe just a regular maintenance check if the repairs have been complete. Now, on these BA fleet updates previously, we've talked a little bit about Wi-Fi fitment. If you've flown with British Airways on the short haul fleet from Heathrow and you see a brand new Airbus A320, you get very excited. You step on the plane, it flies into the air, and you try and log on to Wi-Fi, and there is no Wi-Fi because the recent arrivals in the BA A320 fleet have come from Airbus without Wi-Fi and without any arrangements in place to fit it. So great to see progress being made on an expeditious basis. Tango November Echo Delta flew from London to Prestwick on the 9th of December, back on the 14th, replaced by Echo Bravo that had flown up. That flew back on the 20th, replaced by Echo Charlie. That stayed there over Christmas, back on the 28th, although unusually there wasn't an aircraft flown up earlier in the same day to replace it. Echo Alpha actually flew up to Prestwick the next day, BA 9275 on the 29th. That was finished and ready to fly back on the 5th of January, replaced by November Victor, which flew up earlier on. So 5 aircraft there getting its Wi-Fi fitted. Good progress by BA in that respect, and that allows us to make progress on this update here on the BA fleet update. Let's talk now about the Airbus A380 fleet. A bit of disruption. 30th of December, the BA 209 cancelled that afternoon, the second of 2 daily flights to Miami. No aircraft. And there's been 3 days during December where the BA 57 to Johannesburg has been delayed and not been able to leave due to aircraft issues until the next day. British Airways having to find hotel accommodation to put the staff and customers up. And Echo Alpha, the oldest of the A380 fleet at British Airways, has been over in Manila in the Philippines at the Lufthansa Technic facility since the 25th of November. Now, British Airways had recognised through the autumn, with all this maintenance, with aircraft going to Manila, it was not going to be able to turn 10 of the 12 aircraft out every day, so it reduced the fleet requirement to 9. It did that by removing the A380 from the Dallas-Fort Worth rotation, the BA 193, but that's gone back in at the beginning of January 2025. We'll see how they get on, providing that it has been an A380 over the last 7 or 8 days. And here's a table just to show the utilisation of the Airbus A380 fleet and how that has changed with that decision. 12 aircraft, 2 now on maintenance, and the rest working mainly across the Atlantic, but also doing Dubai, Johannesburg and Singapore. Well, that moves us on to quite a complex area around the long-haul fleet, which is a whole load of activity around British Airways and their 777 fleet. India Tango made its way down to Cardiff on the 8th of December for maintenance, came back on the 13th to Gatwick and straight into service on the Orlando route. India Oscar flew out after Christmas on the 31st of December, long flight from its base at London Gatwick to Taipei for maintenance, the BA 9174, and that was replaced by a loan of an aircraft from the Heathrow fleet, Mike Lima, which headed out on the BA 9179, and that's been covering Gatwick flights since. Now, some people get a bit excited about this. They say, oh, this means British Airways are going to be using club suite fitted 777s from Gatwick. And technically, yes, they are, but they're only doing it when they need to cover for these aircraft on maintenance. There's no long-term intention to have club suite fitted aircraft operating out of Gatwick. So don't expect that to continue for too long. Mike Sierra flew down to Cardiff from London Heathrow on the 18th of December. That remains there. Mike Uniform did a very short visit out on the 2nd to Cardiff, back to Heathrow on the 6th. And 2 of the 777-300s have made their way down to Cardiff. Bravo November on the 5th of January and Bravo Hotel on the 6th of January. India Tango has flown from Gatwick to Teruel in Spain on the 7th of January. We think that's either for maintenance or for paint work. British Airways struggling with India Victor, which you might recall is one of 3 aircraft that were refurbished in the Gatwick arrangement with first class and the old club world cabin, but BA took the decision after COVID to move those 3 aircraft to Heathrow. Subsequently, it's taken the decision to fit those aircraft with club suites. That work's proven a bit more complicated, a bit more challenging than I think had originally been expected, even though most people think it's just a standard configuration for those GE90 777-200s based at Heathrow, and British Airways currently not able to get sign-off from Boeing / Federal Aviation Authority / Civil Aviation Authority in the UK. So let's see what happens with that. Mike Foxtrot flew from Gatwick to Heathrow on the 30th of December, but back on the 5th of Jan, back into service. And Mike India flew from Heathrow to Gatwick. So quite a lot of activity there. As far as the 787s are concerned, Juliet Delta's been out of use at London Heathrow since the 16th of December, almost certainly related to Rolls-Royce engine issues. Last time we updated you, we said Kilo Hotel on the 787-9 fleet was out of service at Jeddah. That aircraft stayed on the ground at Jeddah, out of traffic for 8 days, eventually returning on the BA 9178 back to London Heathrow. Juliet India in the 787-8 fleet spent virtually all of December out of traffic at London Heathrow, back in use from the 28th. Kilo Juliet has flown out on the 14th of December to Abu Dhabi for maintenance, and that's where it currently resides. Quick visit to Teruel in Spain for Kilo Charlie on the 787-9 fleet, out on the 2nd of Jan, back on the 7th, and back into service. Kilo Oscar remains out of use at Heathrow, as does Lima Delta on the 787-10 fleet. Many of you know the last in the current batch with Rolls-Royce engines of the 787-10s, the 12th aircraft, is Lima Lima. We think that aircraft is complete at Charleston, but it's not yet been registered on the British Register and not yet started its testing. So hopefully that will happen at some point in January. And I've used this slide before, but it shows you the 5 aircraft that have been out of traffic for quite a substantial amount of time in the 787 fleet. And particularly relevant, I think, with British Airways advertising cancellations through the winter and into next summer because of the unavailability of the 787 fleet. I think it's important just to keep an eye on how many of the 787s are actually unavailable for work on an ongoing basis. Well, we've taken you through the CityFlyer, the Euroflyer, the BA short-haul Airbus fleet and the long-haul fleets. We've not mentioned the Airbus A350s, and that's because they're pretty much behaving themselves. They're heading off to Phoenix and Las Vegas and getting on with their work and generally behaving. No doubt a few people in British Airways wishing they had more than 18 of those aircraft. But anyway, I've talked before about the British Airways long-haul fleet strategy. Do have a look on my YouTube channel at that video if that is something that interests you. I'll be back with another British Airways fleet update very, very soon. And in the meantime, I'd love to hear your comments. Do you find the update useful? Is there new information here? Is there stuff you think that's missing? Stuff that you think has been going on that I've not covered? Any updates? Any information about what's gone on with any of these aircraft? And the final snippet that I'll leave you with is on the British Airways 787-8 fleet. Hot off the press as we get this update together for you. I think you'll find that Golf Zulu Bravo Juliet Charlie will be heading from London Heathrow down to Cardiff very shortly. The third member of the Dreamliner 787-8 subclass to get into Cardiff, and fitment of club suites hopefully starting on that. Doesn't need a big sign off at the end because it's in production now, so hopefully that won't take the team at Cardiff too long. I will be back with another British Airways fleet update and more videos on my YouTube channel generally, so keep an eye out for those. If you haven't subscribed, you must do that. We'll tell you that right now, and I'll see you real soon here on Mark's Trains, Planes and Trams.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe and click the notification button so you don't miss any of the great trips Mark has coming your way on this YouTube channel.